We want to welcome Therese Ritchie to the stage for her right of reply.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Brilliant. Okay, I'll just look. I'm really sorry about this. I've written 2 speeches, and I'm still not sure which one I'm going to read. No, I'm not doing the long one. Oh, I might. Can I put my glasses on? Okay, bear with me. Thank you so much. Seriously. Can you hear me now? I mean, I've got the mic in my mouth, for God's sake. Who said that? How's that? Oh, that's better. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Is that it? Everyone happy? Okay, so I think, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I'm going to read this one. So it is actually true that I feel like I've really met my match tonight, because I actually don't know how to thank you. I don't know how to do it. I've tried many ways to. For a month I've been trying to work out how am I going to say thank you, and I'm just get overwhelmed and I get emotional. So I'm just going to read what I've written, and fingers crossed it hits the spot. So, prioritising practicing art, especially when your work doesn't sell much, which is impossible. It's impossible without support. I'm just going to... Can I do that? So much better. That's better. Okay. So I'm going to start again. Prioritising practicing art, especially when your work doesn't sell much, it's just impossible without support. And I'm indebted to Susan Cox and Marcus Spazapan. Because you let me come and stay for a week, and I stayed for 12 years. And I just couldn't have made the work without your love and your sensibility. And they've got pretty ingenious culinary skills as well. Because as you found out, I'm an average cook. I'd like to say right now that I salute all Aboriginal people everywhere, from the bottom to the very top of this country, including its seas, rivers and oceans and all the sacred water. In particular, the proud and resilient nation of Larrakia people, Laurie Bamarunga, the last leader of the Crocodile Islands, Gwinwinku, Walpri and Pitjantjatjara women, Barbara Cummins and the generation of stolen babies and children, and the Garawa, Gadanji, Murra and Yanyua people of the Gulf of Carpentaria. The intensity of Burning Hearts really did catch me off guard, and I was pretty grumpy. Wasn't I, Wendy? Yes, pretty grumpy. It was really bad. I think Marcus said I was rabid. For the last 30 or so years of practicing art, I've had very little attention from the art world, and I became content with being ignored. So my experience of being passed over, whilst uncomfortable at first, has turned out to be the perfect gift. I've made a lot of pictures. I never have to explain or sell myself, or anything for that matter. I make work for the practice and not for the policy or the dollar, and nobody breaks my thread. And after many years, that thread has become invulnerable, muscular and unrestrained. The payoff for being left alone is that I have achieved an uncompromised success within my own value system. But having said that, I realise that this moment is perfectly timed, and I regard the museum and art gallery of the Northern Territory's focus on me and my work through their breathtaking, and it is breathtaking, exhibition and publication, Burning Hearts, to be an unrivalled compliment. Now, the team have already been thanked, but I must thank them. To the unshakable team who worked to bring Burning Hearts to life, bless you. Wendy Garden, who conceived, curated and among other things wrote the essay in the publication. Wendy, nobody has ever taken on the issues like you, and so I really appreciate that. It's, you know, long time coming. Wendy Wood, Burning Hearts project manager, for being constant and holding the process so beautifully no matter what time I called her. Claire Armitage, assistant curator for extracting information without me knowing she was doing it. Kate Fennell, best designer in Darwin, FYI. Book and exhibition designer, what a breath of fresh air, and you've done a stellar job. Communications pocket rocket Beck Campart for trying desperately to keep me calm. Did not work. Did not work. And photographer Marinda Campbell for shooting me with her camera. Stan Whiting and the crew at ePrint for the prints on the wall. Don White and the crew of Don White Framing and Gary Single for framing. And materials conservator Sandra Yee for keeping me in line and everything else aligned. All Northern Territory Museum and Art Gallery staff and board, from the cleaners to the beaming staff on the front desk, to the Assistant Director, Dr. Regan Forrest, and Director, Marka Shutenko, I thank you all. Thank you. And I also regard the fact that you're all here, having travelled from all over Australia to a destination hotter and brighter than Venus, to be a staggering gesture of love. My brother's here tonight. He's never been to the Northern Territories. He's over there. His name's Mark. His name's Mark. Be kind to him. Don't tease him. It's a staggering gesture of love and almost unbearable in my heart, because me thanking you just does not seem enough. Oh, I'm not going to cry. Fuck that. Fuck off. Go on, fuck off. I must acknowledge Chips McAnulty, Peter Cook, who is not here, but David Hancock, Todd Williams, Bentley James, they're all boys, it's a problem, Sean Kerrins, Jackie Green and the people of the Gulf Country, Alistair Wyville, Don White, Karen Brown, Anita Angel and David Angel, Stan Whiting, Greg Lawler, Irma Kanonen, clients, friends and staff of Green Ant Research Arts and Publishing. Do you remember that? Oh yeah, yeah. All members of the Warehouse Artists Co-op. Now that's going back a long time. Yes. Women, staff and board of Ruby Guy House, Darwin Centre Against Rape. Yes, yes, go girls. The early feminist, women's and peace movements of Darwin and Alice Springs. We were hot. The Northern Territory's LGBTQ community. Oh, and all you heteros out there. and not finally, but the Northern Territory arts community. Not just the visual artists, but the thespians, writers, filmmakers, musicians, public servants, and all you little pricks out there. And you know who you are. Bless you all. I haven't got long to go. Margie Cotter. No, I'm not going to ask you to marry me, but I could if I wanted to. Thank you for looking after me. I do love you. I originally pitched to call this show Beloved because I didn't win, clearly, but it did describe. I didn't win many actually, did I? No. Lost a lot of arm wrestles. Lost my temper a lot. I originally pitched to call this show Beloved because it describes the entirety of this place and its people and how that fuels my art. I spent a month making a list of all the people who have been integral in my creative life, and it became an epic inventory going right back to my childhood. It was like right back to my birth. And it's just impossibly long for this purpose. But the process did show me that no one person, thing, place or event can really be separated out, and that my entire life is my inspiration. Now logically this means I'm not only inspired by the people I respect and love, I'm also inspired by the plethora of absolute dickheads in my life as well. And let's face it, this country is hemorrhaging dickheads right now. And I am grateful to them all because they keep me fit And you all thought it was because I go to Fitness Works. No, it's because of the dickheads in my life. So inspiration, like love, just keeps extending. So it's not only people that move me. We are all lost without our context. I grew as an artist in love with and in relation to this place. There was a drive-in where Woolies Nightcliff sits and everyone shopped at right price. The Roma Boas at the other end of Kavanagh Street. And for kicks, people would go and sit in the wharf and fish, surrounded by mangroves and crocodiles. Sorry, Claire, not a dredged harbour or a gas plant. When you could hear the mangroves clicking from your bed in Coconut Grove, when there were no high-rise buildings on Casuarina Drive, and you could smell the fires and salt water and hear people singing throughout the night. And in parts of Nightcliff, people would stop their cars and wait in the rain because there were too many green frogs on the road. Now, it's true that Darwin is finished up, but it is that environment and its community that I look for, and it continues to lace my work. Look, and no matter how much we try to rebrand ourselves, our beyond possible lifestyle will always ride on the back of sweet Mother Earth. And I know in my lifetime I have seen my culture quietly smother what makes this place unique. The contradiction is that we kill what we love. And the irony here is that if I did not hold that uncomfortable truth in my heart, I would not have been compelled to make any work at all. Please don't misinterpret me here. This is not guilt. It's a heat in here. So Burning Hearts is the obvious title, because I do have an intense and marvellously complicated life and heart. And I have that life and heart because I am here and I am with you, and we are in this extraordinary place. To you, June and Ali Mills, it is a fucking privilege to have you welcome my work on Larrakia lands after all this time. So thank you for Burning Hearts. Thank you for everybody. It's yours. To the humans in my work, real, imagined, friend, foe, lovers, those who are no longer with us, the animals, plants and the land, you are my inspiration and my beloved. Thank you.